Welcome to Student Voice. I'm Gabriel Collins. Hobbies. We all have them. We all need them. Hobbies are a very important part of our lives, and that's what we are talking about today. With us today,
Ryan Porter.
Hannah Lowe.
Nick Stoll.
Kaylee Church.
All right, well, let's just, now that we got the pleasantries out of the way, let's dive right into it. What are some hobbies you guys have?
I enjoy watching sports, especially baseball. I watch college football, not the NFL. I watch the NFL for the Super Bowl, but that's about it. So.
The Super Bowl's only really good for the ads, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The commercials, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you, Hannah?
Well, I haven't been doing it much lately, but I mean, one of my hobbies throughout my life that I've kind of had is writing. I write poetry mostly as like a spur of the moment, needing to get out feelings kind of thing about a situation. But I've also written some short stories, and I've written a book as well. But yeah, so I'd say
I'd be interested to read the book, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Like I haven't been writing like on my own accord much lately, but it is something that I do like.
I personally don't care for poetry, but all the others sound really interesting. I mean, I actually want to try to read that. What about you, Nick?
Kind of the same with hers. I write poetry. That helps a lot. I used to write lyrics. I'll play bass, when I'm not feeling like intellectually creative, and just like let it flow.
Okay, that is very interesting.
Cool.
And sometimes I'll draw, paint, or doodle, just whatever, just to get it out.
I can't do a lot of the artistic stuff. My hand doesn't work real well.
It's pretty similar. Definitely writing and reading. Watching TV, definitely mystery stuff or like romance. And then I'd say I like journaling a lot, which is pretty nice. I just haven't done it lately.
What's your thought on thrillers?
Thrillers, love them. Any horror movies, thrillers, psychological, I'm gonna watch
I
it.
feel like you'd probably like the Tom Clancy novels. You should probably look into those. Well, my hobbies personally are airsoft, cosplaying, and Lego building, and just probably chilling with my girlfriend half the time whenever I have free time anyway.
Yeah, and I watch videos a lot too. I spend a lot of my time watching like true crime stuff.
Yeah,
that's Rachel for you. That's my girlfriend. Yeah, that's a lot, and probably why my sleep schedule is screwed. All right, let's get back on track here.
Sorry.
All right, how important are your hobbies, and do they have an effect on your own mental health?
My hobbies are pretty important to me. They keep me busy and my mind off like bad things, like keep me happy, and I also spend a lot of time with my girlfriend, so just keeps me happy all the time and not down on myself.
Keeping intrusive thoughts at bay, I guess.
Yes.
That's always a plus.
Yeah, for me, like I was saying, like the writing that I've been doing the past few years, whenever I feel up to it, it does just kind of help me cope with my situations. Like if something happened that I'm not like happy about, or something that I'm like frustrated or sad, then I just write about it, and that kind of is like a coping mechanism for me.
It helps you process.
And like
I've done that. It
yeah,
actually
and
does
like
work.
my book that I mentioned, that really was like a coping mechanism for what I had been going through at the time. And it was also the beginning of like COVID when I was writing it, so
You had
that
a lot of free
also
time.
yeah, and also like because COVID had some sort of negative effect, I guess, on everybody, for sure. And so I guess writing like the book didn't only help with like me and what I'd been going through, but it kind of, I guess, helped me get through COVID as well, because it was something to do, and it was just like a really important project to me, and so definitely affected me for sure.
If we get a chance to do this podcast again, maybe we could just all do something about how did COVID affect our lives, because that did have a huge effect on everyone's life. You, me, everybody. What about you, Nick?
I'd probably say around COVID, even before a little bit. I wasn't in the best spot. So I'd make instrumentals and kind of make them like not just like beats, right? But like they have a story behind them, and like it's hard to explain. I was not,
when I'm listening to some classical or instrumental songs, I kind of have stories develop in my head usually, and I've done that since I was little. So I can you actually are making a lot of sense by saying that. Like it does make sense to me. So. You're
But
good.
yeah, you know, and a lot of those recordings were from like 18, 19 years old. So I was just like, you know, during the pandemic, I just released them all. And, you know,
With a lot of teenage angst, I'm guessing.
yeah, yeah, some of it.
Yeah, it's good to let those feelings out sometimes. when
Oh,
you're just-
trust me. They're out they're out in my Google Docs, but I'm not releasing them. No one will read those. Not even the TSA. What about you?
I'd say very important. Like journaling
NSA, sorry.
helps me, especially with mental health and stuff, getting things out, especially me being not a very communicative person because it's really hard for me most
It's
of the
hard
time.
for a lot of people, me too.
And so journaling out really helps. And then reading, having that escape into a different reality, or just hearing someone else's story and visualizing it in your head is very much
Oh,
better.
that's also kind of why I like movies. They're like when you don't have the time to read an entire novel,
Yeah.
just a quick version. For
Like
me,
the
a lot of
Abridged.
yeah, the abridged
It's the
version.
abridged
It's the abridged version. Yeah, like I guess COVID kind of got me into a lot of new hobbies. Lego is something I did since I was a kid, but when after a few months into the pandemic, in one of the airsoft field I played at was actually one of the few places where life felt normal. So I got into that, and then it closed, and they moved to Georgia. And now I got into cosplay last year, going to do that again this weekend at Conuga, which is going to be really fun. So it's just, yeah, most of my stuff I do now just started because of the pandemic, which honestly, I really do think we should do a podcast on that. Do you guys have any final thoughts, interesting comments?
I just think as motivated as unmotivated as some people might be sometimes, like me, I think it's good to like have a hobby and kind of find something that you maybe not entirely like passionate per se, but just something that makes you happy to do, because because life is gonna keep going no matter what happens, and so finding just your own little thing, like a hobby, I think isn't just for fun. It's kind of just something to keep your mind off what's going on, or kind of just getting to think about what you want to think about. So I think it's good to have a hobby, because it just helps you get through life in a
It's a
bit
good
more of your own
distressor.
way. Mm-hmm.
Just find something that distresses you, like video games. That's a very common one for a lot of people, especially the more introverted type. What about anything?
I agree with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you did mention you played bass. I'm surprised you didn't say you'd taken your bass like an accent or like that. That was really funny.
Yeah, no, I don't have that. I don't have the money for that. But
that's-
yeah.
I don't really have any final thoughts per se. I agree with what Hannah was saying mostly.
Yeah, I think we're all agreeing with Hannah here.
What can I say? I'm a wordsmith. For sure.
Honestly, yeah, you kind of are. I thought I was pretty decent at it. Now I'm talking to you, I'm like, I'm inferior.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all. That is it today for this episode of Student Voice. For information, visit ChattanoogaState.edu. Wow, we really got to work on that.